The PM backs the budget but refuses to rule out even more tax rises. And a significant development tonight, the government U-turns on giving workers unfair dismissal protection from their first day in the job. I'll have all the reaction on that also on the programme.
Evening News with Lucrezia Millarini.
Good evening. The Prime Minister today backed his Chancellor's budget, insisting the right choices had been made, but he couldn't rule out even more tax rises ahead. Speaking to ITV News, Sir Keir Starmer said it was right that everyone makes a contribution to protect the NHS, public services and help people with the cost of living. But more than 1.5 million working people will be paying more in income tax under the plans. Today, Rachel Reeves insisted that doesn't break Labour's manifesto pledge, and tonight the government made a U-turn on its commitment to offer all workers protection from unfair dismissal from the first day on the job. More on that in a moment. First, here's our political correspondent Harry Horton on the budget backlash. Well, as we mentioned earlier, the government has tonight ditched its manifesto pledge for all workers to have day one protection from unfair dismissal. After pressure from businesses, it will instead come into force after 6 months. Our political editor, Robert Peston, is here. That wasn't true. Now, the number of people known to have died in the terrible tower block fires in Hong Kong has risen to 75, but hundreds more are still missing and unaccounted for. The fire broke out yesterday in the Hong Kong suburb of Tai Po. It's thought it started on the external scaffolding outside the 32-storey Wang Fuk Court tower block. It then quickly spread to the inside of the building and then to 6 other towers, aided by windy conditions. The fires are largely under control and rescuers are going flat to check for survivors. And officials are now investigating why the scaffolding and other construction materials caught fire so quickly. From the scene, here's our Asia correspondent, Debbie Edward. Some other news now. The 31-year-old man is the 7th person to be arrested in connection with the attack on Heaton Park Synagogue in Manchester, which killed 2 people. The man was... A big fall in net migration was welcomed by the Prime Minister today. Official figures show that the number of people leaving the UK compared to those moving here is much lower than 2 years ago. But the data also showed a rise in the number of asylum seekers being housed in hotels and a record number of asylum applications. While UK editor Paul Brand is here. And Paul, there is more ahead on the ITV Evening News, including that and more coming up after the break. Stay with us. Hello and welcome back. The mother of a 12-year-old girl who took her own life says she will never forgive the mental health unit where she was being treated or the hospital which failed to spot a brain disorder. Mia Lucas was found unresponsive in her room in part of Sheffield Children's Hospital in January 2024. It later emerged Mia was suffering from a swelling of the brain which would have been the cause of the acute psychosis she was exhibiting. An inquest jury today found her death was possibly contributed to by failures at Queen's Medical Centre in Nottingham to spot her condition, and there were failures at the mental health unit in Sheffield. Katie Oscroft reports. Next tonight, the Environment Agency says there is still no timeline for clearing an illegal waste mountain alongside the A34 in Oxfordshire. It says the safety of nearby residents is its top priority and is looking at options for removing and disposing of the 150-metre long tip. Our Midlands correspondent Ben Chapman is there for us tonight. And finally tonight, how Peter Kay is helping some of the UK's biggest cancer charities as he wraps up his epic UK tour. The Bolton comedian has announced extra dates with all the profits going to the good causes. Appearing on ITV's This Morning, he said the Better Late Than Never tour will come to an end in August in Manchester. Here's Ravneet Nandra on Kay's great giveaway. A classic. And that is all for now. The Martin Lewis Show is next and Julie will be here at the later time of 11. But from me and all the Evening News team, bye-bye.